Today on the channel, we've got some old hammer squats for you guys. These are squats that I bought circa 1988-89 at the Silver Snail in Toronto, Ontario at 367 Queen Street West. They had on the second floor, they had above the comic shop, they had some game stuff, and they had these guys here, and I bought them with pocket money, I guess, you know, from flipping burgers or whatever it was at the time. And yeah, I've had them forever, and they were painted like ass, and I stripped them down and I repainted them. So I'm going to talk you through these guys here. I'm going to talk a little bit about what it was like back in the day. Most of you guys will probably remember. I think the demographic on my channel is pretty much my age. So, but yeah, let's get into it. Let's check out these squads.
The Warhammer 40K Compendium, when I was like, 15 years old, 14, 15 years old, was like practically my Bible. It was always in my book bag, or it was in my nightstand or whatever. I've read this book cover to cover, I don't know how many times. So it had the SQUATS, it had the Harlequins, it had the Space Marines, it had the Imperial Guard, it had robots, all that kind of stuff in it. And it gutted me when they came out with second edition. They got rid of the SQUATS. This was in the center of the book. I mean, the SQUATS were a big deal in Rogue Trader, and I bought in, big time. Yeah, they just second ed. They just kind of like, oh yeah, they were in the book that came with the edition, but then they just sort of like got rid of them, and they were just never seen again until they just came out like 3, 4, 5 years ago. One thing I think that Games Workshop, a constant thread of Games Workshop games in the last 4 decades for sure, is the inconsistency of points for their army. So here we've got the Space Marines, 10 guys, 250 points, tactical squad. You've got a missile launcher, you got a flamer, they all got power armor, they all got bolt guns, all kinds of whatever, XYZ, saves on 4+. They're ready to kick some ass. Then you got the squads, 8 guys, 215 points, las guns and flak armor. It's like cardboard armor and pea shooters for 215 points. 8 guys. And then you had a las cannon, oh, you're 315. So it was crazy back in the day too. And don't even get me started on the Eldar. Oh my God, they were so broken back in in the late 80s, early 90s. I had a lot of the Rogue Trader metal squats, and I found them all recently here, and with things the way they are, I decided that I wanted to repaint them again, and do them some kind of justice. So I bought this chemical here on Amazon here in Japan, and I stripped a whole pile of them down, and I got stuck right in. This is the first squad I've painted up for these guys, or repainted, I should say, and they're an homage to the X-Wing pilots from the first Star Wars movie. And so they're just orange, white, and black, basically. And I found that painting the older figures, that a couple things. Number one, they're really easy to paint. Number two, they got heaps of character. Number three, they're so much more easy, I should say, to paint than the newer GW stuff. There's not that crazy intricacy and hyper detailing that the new GW stuff has. And the faces are based on the Bashki animes or cartoons of Hobbit and Lord of the Rings from the late 70s. So they've got so much more character, I think, than the newer squats, whatever they're called now, the demi-gurgs or demi-urges or whatever they are. And they're really kind of cool, you know what I mean? So I've taken some photos here, the fronts and the backs of some of these figures, just to show you that, yeah, this is what figures used to be like. We've got the las cannon guy here. That is a plastic las cannon, actually, which just shows plastic Imperial Guard las cannon, actually, which just shows you the versatility here. I don't know where the metal weapon went, but I could put this one on there, and it fit perfectly, and it blends in with the squad. It looks cool, and definitely would get the job done on the table. The Rogue Trader minis did not really fit in with the compendium at all. So we've got a guy with a bolt gun and a plasma pistol, and you've got the sort of the sergeant there with the las pistol, and each guy was armed the way he was, so it was a totally different game, and it was a lot more like a role-playing game, I think, than whatever Warhammer's become. Here's a shameless plug for my April Fool's video. We've got the Imperial Cox Space Marine Killers of Xenos, fighting 11th edition Orc here. You should go check it out. We've got some 10th edition, current edition, 9th edition, 8th edition orcs here, taking on my squats. It's been a great little nostalgic blast for me painting these guys up to, finally the standard that I had wanted them to look like, I guess, paint them up to when I was like, 14, 15 years old. So I'm really happy with them. And they don't look like crap. They actually look half decent. I can put them on my shelf. So thanks for watching. Thanks for checking out the video. And we'll catch you in the next one. Until then, guys, everybody have a great weekend. Have a great time painting, doing your hobby, and keep those brushes moving. Bye-bye.